A lot of rappers still, it seems like, want to be Tupac. They want to have his popularity. They want people to love them like everyone loves him. But why do you think no one's succeeding?
Well, because this is what they fail to realize about Tupac. In order for them to be Tupac, they would have to die before they peaked. Right before they peaked, they would have to die. So if you don't die, you can't do it. Bottom line, if you don't go die, you're not gonna be the next Tupac, because it ain't gonna be a next Tupac. Straight up.
Could you state your name for the record, please?
Ross Goodman, Goodman.
Could you tell us how you got involved in this case?
So multiple people contacted my office from California and here, and I've been meeting with them for several weeks, and we're close to finalizing a deal for me to participate in that case.
Counselor, we need to ask.
There's obvious defenses already, but in all fairness, I haven't even confirmed as counsel. I haven't reviewed the grand jury transcripts, so I have no actual evidence.
We need to ask you if your client intends to plead not guilty at the time.
Mr. Davis informs me that, of course, he intends to plead not guilty.
And did you see, having reviewed the transcripts of the grand jury, did you see weaknesses in the case the district attorney presented to the grand jury?
Well, as I just said, I'm not yet hired to review the grand jury transcripts or to prepare a motion if one is needed, but obviously the things that jump out is that there's no gun, there's no car, and there's no witnesses from 27 years ago.
Mr. Goodman, when things get finalized, do you plan to ask the court for bail?
Of course, I think Mr. Davis should be released on OR. He's not a flight risk. He's not a danger to the community. He's lived in Henderson for 11 years, and he's not going anywhere.
Ross, how do you defend someone who time after time publicly has said that they were there, they know what happened, and that they were handing this murder weapon to the person? How do you defend that?
Well, you have to look at the facts and circumstances surrounding why he gave those statements at the time that he gave those statements. But again, I haven't reviewed those statements in detail. I haven't reviewed the other evidence, but I believe there's a motive, an incentive on why somebody would make a statement like that, even though it may not be true.
Could you
Is Edie Fall still representing him? Is Edie Fall still representing Mr. Davis?
I'm not sure what his relationship is right now, or whether or not he's going to associate into the case.
Could you speak at all about the proffer agreement that he made with LAPD detectives 15 years ago?
That's one thing I haven't reviewed in detail, so I can't make a comment regarding that.
When you talk about how large this case is, I mean, how much work does this mean for you going forward?
It's a big case. I mean, it's 27 years in the making, so I understand there's about 600 pages of grand jury transcripts, and you can imagine the amount of evidence and potentially impeachment evidence that comes along with all these witnesses that are going to come out of the woodwork.
Mr. Goodman, I think he was always for stopping. There have been suggestions from Keefe himself that he has cancer, that he has potentially terminal cancer, that his health is in very bad shape. Can I ask you, what do you know of that? How is he doing? You spoke with him today. What's his mood like?
Well, he's happy I was there today, and he's happy that shortly I can confirm as counsel if it gets finalized and that we can bring a motion for bail so he can be released. And with respect to his medical condition, I heard the same things. I haven't reviewed any medical records yet, so I can't comment on that, but apparently he did have colon cancer shortly before he gave those statements.
How's his well-being, though? You spoke to him. How's his spirits?
His spirits are fine right now. He thinks that there are defenses, and he wants to fight the case.
But why did he say he took that?
Well, I don't know if that is a confession. That's a legal conclusion. And like I said before, I'm not even in on the case yet. I haven't reviewed anything, but just based on the reports, I believe when I see these statements, which are extrajudicial statements, that there are reasons on why people say things. But as everybody here knows, that you have to corroborate those statements. And if you don't have a car, if you don't have a gun, you don't have witnesses to corroborate what Mr. Davis said, under those circumstances, I believe there's an obvious defense to that on why he made those statements and a motive to making those statements.
Yo, YouTube, what up? It's your homie Gab, I'm in the building, and this is MAKAVELI Media. So, you all heard by now that Keefe D is in the process of hiring high-profile defense attorney Ross Goodman to represent him in the TUPAC murder case, right? It's very important, man, for us to take a look at who Ross Goodman is. His father, Oscar Goodman, was a high-powered defense attorney for the mafia. This guy's dad is a legend in terms of what he was able to do for those who participated in organized crime. He would get them off time and time again. This was a very calculated move and a very strategic move by Keefe D. Or was this move very strategic and calculated by somebody else? Now, this is all speculation, but you gotta ask yourself, how can Keefe D afford such a high-profile attorney? How? I don't know what he got in his bank account. It ain't none of my concern. But I do know some things behind the scenes, and he was trying to come up with some bread. I'll leave it at that. But let's take it a step further. When Ross Goodman first was introduced to this case, and a reporter asked him, "How did you get involved?" That motherfucker was very uncomfortable with that question. He was stumbling and bumbling and stuttering and smiling, and he simply said, some people from Los Angeles had been calling him, and some people from there had been calling him, trying to get him on board with this case. But the way he smiled, it was like, I can't tell y'all who these people are.
Could you state your name for the record, please?
Ross Goodman, Goodman.
Could you tell us how you got involved in this case?
So multiple people contacted my office from California and here, and I've been meeting with them for several weeks, and we're close to finalizing a deal for me to participate in that case.
He could have just said Keefe D called, Keefe D's family called. He said some people out of Los Angeles. And when he smiled, it was almost like, I want to tell y'all so bad, but I can't tell you who these people are or who this person is, or he just can't tell you. It's not his place to tell you. But it was almost like you guys wouldn't believe who's actually calling me. I'm no body language expert, but this guy definitely was calculated in his response. Anybody can see that. That's just a fact. And it got me to wondering, could it possibly be Snoop Dogg or Sean P. Diddy Combs? And I know you like, here Gab go, here Gab go. Allegedly, all speculation. I got to keep putting that out there. This is just me thinking. If it was ever time to do Keefe D a favor, and you heard Keefe on the Art of Dialogue saying, yo, P. Diddy, show some love. If it was ever time to show some love, God damn it, it's right now, because the whole ship could go down with Keefe D. This is a fact. Or like I like to say, facts. No doubt about it. And plus, you can kind of control what he's saying if you got his attorney in your back pocket. You know, you could be very calculated and you would know firsthand everything that's going on with Keefe D what he's saying to the detectives, what he's going to present as evidence in his favor during this trial, you could be very involved if you paying those legal fees. Now, who would want to control what information Keefe D coughed up greater than P. Diddy? If everything he's saying is true. And where does Snoop Dogg lie in all of this? I don't know. But through Snoop's own admission, he was close friends with Biggie and Puffy the whole time. During the beef with Death Row and Bad Boy, Tupac versus Biggie, and even after Tupac was murdered. So yes, he is involved as well. To a degree, I don't know on what level or how deep. But if you take Keefe D at his word that they knew Snoop Dogg in the Dog Pound and Freaky was good friends with Snoop, then I say yes, he had some interest in this development trial as well. And it's so funny, man, because Ross Goodman already tipped his hand during this whole process. He was very clear. He said basically he ain't representing Keefe D as of yet. They're in the process of doing it. And what does that mean? That means the check ain't cleared yet. Whoever's supposed to be paying his money ain't paid it yet. They paid enough for him to come there, but it ain't finalized yet. So as of right now, they're in the process. But he waiting for the rest of his bread to really come out and say that, yeah, I'm his lawyer. He didn't look at all the evidence yet. He kept saying, not yet, not yet. He keep telling y'all, I ain't get my bread yet. But what he did say was, I can tell you what the play is, man. They're going to try to say that Keefe D made all these accusations up. Because he said it's no proof, it's no gun, it's no bullet, it's no eyewitnesses. These are his words. He's going to say, all you have is my client's words. He also alluded to the fact, why would Keefe D say that? He's going to say he was pressured into saying that during the proffer agreement from Greg Kading. Somebody told him to say this in return to knock off some charges that he had previously or something that was pending. You can see the play coming from a mile away. So now Keefe D is going to say he's a compulsive liar. This is crazy. And he's also going to say he lied about Puff Daddy's involvement. Real convenient, right? That's a hell of a favor. But he'd be willing to do that if somebody could possibly get him the lawyer that could get him out of this. He'll be that. He'll be a lying snitch in a lot of people's opinion. But he'll be a free lying snitch. And to him, trust me, that's more important. But tell me what you think, man. Who's paying for this high-profile attorney, Ross Goodman, for Keefe D? And what I spelled out for you just now, tell me, does it make sense and why? Leave your thoughts in the comments section. Don't forget to sub to the channel. This is MAKAVELI Media. Turn on them post notifications so you be the first ones to get it when I drop that shit. It's been a pleasure as always. I'm your homie Gab. I'm signing off. I'm about to hit y'all with the peace.